Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. Not your first time here, hi, welcome back. If you enjoy any and all things makeup, definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads, and let's go ahead and let's dive on into today's video. So I ordered most of the Bridgerton, Pat McGrath, volume part 2 of the Bridgerton collection. I only ordered 3 lipsticks, and I didn't order like the eyeliners or anything like that. So I did get the palette. We got a like loose shimmery like body highlight. We have like the 4 cheek products in here, and then we have the 3 lipsticks. So we're definitely going to be trying all this out today. We're going to be doing some swatches. We're going to be diving right on into this. So if you guys are excited to see what I think of this collection, is it worth the money? Because I did not think the first one was. Then definitely keep on watching. Alright, so I first kind of want to start it off with just swatches of all of the products. So let's go ahead and let's dive on in. So first off, I'm starting off with the palette. So we have this shimmer shade right here. This is called Refinement. Moving on, we have Regency Romance, and then we have Diamond's Desire. Moving on to the last row, we have Forbidden Amour, Daring Dandy, and last is Forever Charmed. So here are all the swatches of the palette. Then I did buy that little, again, that loose highlight. It's right here. This is called Scintillating Diamond. All right, so then moving on to this hand, we're going to start off with the blush highlighter quad. So first off, for the highlighter, we have Champagne Venus. Then we have Aphrodisia, Budding Romance, and last is Very Brilliance. Moving on into the lipsticks, first off, we have Negligee. Then moving on, we have Venetian Peach. And then very last is Nude Romantic 2. So here are all the swatches of everything that I picked up in the collection. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to prime my eyelids using my Believe Beauty eye primer, and then we'll come back and we will start on an eye look. So first, diving off into the palette, it comes in like this little cardboard packaging, and then here on the inside you have the 6 shades. The 6 shades are like, they're pretty tiny, they're not like the biggest, and you do get a little mirror in here. The packaging, I will say, on a majority of this collection just feels very cheap, especially for the price point that you're paying. So this right here is $65. You get 6 shades. That's almost like paying $11 per shade. And I don't feel like these shades are necessarily $11 good. So I would be like, okay, so maybe like the rest of like some of the money would be like because of the packaging. But this just feels just like so cheap. Like this does not feel like a very good quality $65 palette that you would maybe get with like other brands. Like the Patrick Ta 68, which is $3 more expensive, but it really does have that luxe packaging, and it has really a good formula as well. So I just feel like for $65 the packaging just isn't there. I don't know about the formula yet. Wow, I almost had a heart attack. Because we haven't got there quite. We haven't tried out the formula, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So the first shade that I'm going to start off with is going to be this shade right here, called Regency Romance. This is actually a satin. There is only 1 matte in all of the palette, and there's only 1 satin in all of the palette. So, you know, it's kind of a downside. So I'm just going to take this, and we're just going to start working that into like the crease and above for transition and everything else. I think that's one thing I don't like. I don't know. You only get 1 matte and the other is more shimmery. I don't know. I did get this on sale. I did pick this up during the Sephora VIB. So I did get a 20% sale, but we will definitely go into like final thoughts on if I think that this whole palette is worth it. We'll go ahead and we will move into that matte shade right here. That is the Forbidden Amour. That has, the shimmer didn't really have a lot of like kick up or fallout in the pan. The matte does. I don't really watch a whole lot of baseball, so we'll see how it goes. It starts at 12, so it'll take us about 2 hours to get there. And so, you know, even if like it started at 12, I don't know how long it's going to take us to get back, because I was planning on doing some work so I could, you know, hit my numbers. But okay, here's where like the real tea lies, the real drama. I really either want to use this shade or this shade, because these are really beautiful. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to go into this shade first. So this is that green shimmer. This is called Forever Charmed. No. Is it? Yeah, Forever Charmed, I guess. That's what it's called. That's not bad. I like that. Okay, that looks really good. Here's the part where it's probably going to get a little wonky. Is I still do want to use that blue shade, so I'm just going to take some on like my finger, like the most tiny amount, and just kind of press it on top a little bit, maybe. Like mix those together. Ooh, yeah, so like it shifts. So like you can see the green, and then some lights you can kind of see the blue. Okay, I like that. I think that's really pretty. Okay, so I need to go now finish off the rest of my face off of camera, concealer, primers, whatever, everything, all that. So then we can come back and we can try out the little puffy highlighter and the little face quad. And then I'll finish up even more of my face so that we can try out the lipsticks. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. I'm first going to start off with this shade right here, the deepest, darkest shade that we have, and just focus on pressing that up right up against the lash line. Then I'm going to take that satiny shade and just smoke out underneath the lash line. And then for the inner corner, we're going to go into the lightest shade right here called Refinement. I'm going to take that and just dab that into my inner corner. Nice. Okay, perfect. So I have bronzer on. So now we're going to move on into this little face quad thing. This is what it looks like on the inside. Again, it's cardboard, very cheap feeling. In the heart part, as you can tell, like it's just like glued on there, and it's not even like glued in there like super well. I don't know. I just think that some of this is just so poorly made. It's just my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the shade right here. This is the Berry Brilliance shade, and it might be a little bit too pigmented. We'll see. And I'm just going to start towards like the middle portion to back of my cheek area. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So then I'm going to move on to this shade right here. This is shade number 3. So that's Budding Romance. I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm going to focus it towards like the center to like front part of the face. Kind of like a I don't know. Okay, so then again, just like the packaging, it just feels super cheap. It just doesn't feel very like luxe or just like nice. at all, which is just disappointing, especially with it being Pat McGrath and these items just being as expensive as they are. I'm going to leave the prices down below. I do really enjoy like her blush formula. I think it's a really good blush formula. It's really nice pigmented. Doesn't like really mess with like texture. Doesn't really emphasize any texture. Wow, almost had a moment I couldn't think. So now we've got this little, it's like a body highlight. Okay, let's see. Not bad. Again, it's in like the really cheap cardboard packaging, but let's look at the, so it's a really beautiful, really good, intense highlighter. Has that pinkish kind of tone to it. Not too dark for me. It's really a nice one. It does kind of emphasize my texture a little bit more just because it is a little bit more of like a very like glittery type formula. So for me, it does kind of emphasize my texture somewhat. All right, so I need to go finish off the rest of my face and then we'll come back and we will choose a lip option. So my lips are lined. I smeared it out. Let's see what we've got lip option wise. So we have this, which is negligee. That could be cute. Next up we have Venetian peach. It's going to be a little bit too light. And then the next one that we have is going to be Nude Romantic 2. I think I'm going to go with the negligee. Now, as for these lipsticks, these are so cute. Like, it's got that nice, like, plastic packaging. The bow is really cute. Doesn't feel cheap. Like, these are actually, like feel really, really nice. Really luxe. It feels like it's actually worth the price point. Whereas the other ones just don't really feel like it's luxe and worth the price point for me personally. All right, so then I'm just gonna the lipsticks feel really nice, really creamy, glided on, no issues. It feels really hydrating, loving like the ombre-ness of the lips. I do want to kind of go over, I think I saw it somewhere. Took me forever to find it, but I want to go in with one of my Lunar Beauty lip oils. This is in Dare Me. Just to like, all right, so here's the completed look using the Pat McGrath Bridgerton 2 collection. Let's go ahead, let's just like dive on into kind of some of my thoughts on some of these products. So first and foremost, we used this palette. Yeah, it's an okay palette, but I paid $65 for this for 6 shades. $65. And what I just like would like to say about this is that for $65, you get really cheap packaging, like cheap, flimsy packaging. I literally can already start to see it kind of like creasing here, and I feel like if you use this a lot, you're going to run into the issue where it might just easily break, and I don't want that for a $65 palette. The next thing I just want to talk about with this is that you get a satin shade and you get one matte shade. I feel like for me, I just need a little bit more. I honestly could have done without one of these two. I just feel like they're super similar that we didn't really need both. So I could have gone without one of those and done with another matte shade. Now, another satin, another matte. I will say the satin did, work out well, did blend out well. The matte was super pigmented. I did enjoy that. I really do love like this like greenish shade. It's so beautiful. In a way, it kind of reminds me of the Give Me Glow Vintage Rose, only I would truthfully purchase the Give Me Glow Vintage Rose before I would ever purchase this. And then I liked layering in the blue with it just to give it a little bit more of a shift. So I did enjoy that. I did get some serious fallout with this shade. It wasn't terrible or anything. It was easy to be cleaned up, so just be mindful to do your eyes first, especially if you are going into like some of her like the diamond duster shade that we didn't really go into, just because those do, I find, tend to have a little bit of fallout. So just for me, like, it's an okay palette, but I wouldn't pay for this for $65. Truthfully, I don't find it to be worth $65. There's so much more I would need from this palette before I could justify a $65 price point, and I could recommend you guys spend $65 on this palette. I think if you guys get it at like a very steeply discounted price, and I'm talking more than 20%, like I feel like it still wasn't worth the 20% off at the Sephora VIB sale, then it might be worth it. But again, I would have loved more packaging, better packaging, and then maybe like another matte. So definitely wouldn't, and it's not a terrible palette. If you're into Bridgerton like Pat McGrath, go ahead and pick it up. If you are just like, I don't really know if I want to spend $65 on the palette, yeah, no, there are better out there. Okay, as for this, I will just say that, like, again, the packaging, it's just so cheap. Like, look at this. Like, this right here is already starting to, like, lift. It's just, like, it just feels so cheap. Like, you can push in on this. Like, it just feels cheap. What I will say, though, is I do like the quality of her blushes. They're very nice, very pigmented. They don't emphasize texture. They set very beautifully on the skin. They look very nice. They have, like, this, like, natural sheeniness to it, which I really do appreciate. It's not like a glittery sheen or anything like that. It literally is just like a very beautiful lit from within. Like, your cheeks have a little bit of a flush to them, but they're like look nice and healthy. So I really do appreciate that. Her highlights are a little bit, they're just kind of glittery. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. It does emphasize like texture just a little bit. So something just to be mindful of about like any of the highlighters, including the one in here, but the blushes are absolutely beautiful. I think I find it fair that based on I probably wouldn't have paid full price for this just because, again, this just feels cheap. And I probably would have opted for either, which would have been more expensive, but like either getting like a single blush and getting like a single highlighter over just like this. I think I would have liked that a little bit more, just like to get separate, than to have like this really super cheap packaging where I'm like, it's already starting to like fray and lift, and it just feels like it's going to easily be broken, just like things like that. So not necessarily sure that I would recommend this for full price. I think like 20% off was fair. If you can get like 10% off or something like that, maybe that would have been a little bit better. But if you're one of those where it's like, I could do the extra money, I would just purchase like a separate highlight and a separate blush in a shade that you would enjoy over this. Then we have like this single highlighter. Again, it's it's all right. I honestly probably would have like go for this over I would just this, because it just does come with a highlighter. So it's like a very loose highlighter. Again, the packaging is really cheap. It comes with like this little cute puff, so that way you can like put it on like your shoulder, neck, whatever you would like to. But again, it's just like so cheaply made, and it emphasizes texture because it is a very glittery highlight, same as like the one in here. So for me personally, instead of purchasing these two separately, I honestly probably would have just, if I was on a budget not reviewing this, I probably would have just went with this over, instead of getting this as well. I don't say, it's not a bad highlighter. It's definitely like a very nice pink highlighter, which really kind of goes with like the look, the vibe that we've got going on right now. So not mad about that, but again, I just don't really think you need that. The stars of the show, the things that I think are worth the absolute money, are these lipsticks. These are so cute. I love how like cute the packaging is. You've got some blues, you've got some coral type packaging. The bows don't feel cheap. It definitely feels like a metal type of product. Then again, like you do get a very nice lipstick. The lipstick is more of a satin, and I do really find it to be very nice, hydrating, glides right on, has the pigmentation. I mean, I'm loving the way that my lips are looking right now, especially with that ombre and stuff. So I really do enjoy these. I think these are worth every last penny. I got those at 20% off, which I think is fantastic, but honestly, I would have paid full price for these now that I've tried them out, and I probably will be picking up, if they're still available, a couple more, just because, again, like the packaging is so cute. The formula is really good. Like, that to me is the star of the show. And if you were going to pick up anything, I would definitely pick up a lipstick. Next up, the next thing I would probably pick up would probably be the face quad, then the palette, and then last would probably be this. So that's the way I would rank those in terms of what I would pick up and what I wouldn't. But yeah, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and I will see you all in my next one.